Marketer of the Day, Episode 620, Drive Traffic from Facebook and Instagram Ads, Lookalike Audiences, Carousel Ads, Boosted Posts, and more with Monica Louie.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Marketer of the Day podcast. We're chatting with return guest Monica Louie. We're going to be talking about Facebook ads. You can find out about Monica at monicalouie.com and at flourishwithfbads.com. In their past appearance, it was over at marketeroftheday.com/535. But Facebook always changes, so there's always new cutting edge stuff to talk about. So Monica Louie uses her expertise in Facebook and Instagram ads to help entrepreneurs skyrocket their profitability. And after discovering the wonders of paid advertising and seeing some amazing results herself, Monica has built a thriving agency for major brands and solopreneurs alike. So you're going to want to pay very close attention today if you want to create campaigns that convert as well. And if you want to flourish with Facebook ads, you can check out her websites, flourishwithfbads.com and monicalouie.com/WWM. So Monica, glad to have you back.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be back on the podcast.
Awesome. So speaking of being excited, what has you excited these last few months about Facebook and their ads?
Well, my team and I have been doing a lot more testing with Instagram ads, and that has been a really fun platform to get creative with when it makes sense for our clients when their audiences are there.
Okay, so I have to admit, I sometimes log into Instagram probably once every 3 months, so I hardly use it, but I keep hearing and seeing people use it more and more. So for sort of a out of touch Instagram wise person such as myself, what do we need to know about Instagram and their ads?
Well, so Instagram ads, we like to test when it makes sense for the client. So it doesn't work great for everyone, but it is worth testing if you think that your audience is on Instagram. So Instagram is generally going to be the younger demographic. And also if your brand or your business is very design, focused, there's a lot of imagery that goes along with it, then Instagram can be a great platform for you to test your ads out with. And then we really enjoy testing video ads, image ads, and then also Instagram story ads with Instagram as well.
Well, yeah, I imagine that people who have e-commerce products could do really well with Instagram, right? Because you could do all kinds of like product demos and show variations of like different colors of things and different kinds of products they have. And so like, is there a certain are there things that do work on Instagram and niches that don't work? I mean, other than like the demographic, as far as like the product or the service that's out there. I mean, I imagine that maybe like a digital product wouldn't work too well, or like a coaching wouldn't work too well, right?
Well, it actually depends. So we've got a lot of different clients in a lot of different niches. And so one of our clients, they are wedding photographers. And so they teach people how to grow their wedding photography business and learn all about the poses and how to get through a stress-free wedding. And so their ads, because it is so visually appealing, and photographers are on Instagram, their Instagram ads have worked really well. But then we also have another client where she works with entrepreneurs and she teaches them how to land PR and get more publicity and get their name out there. And when we test Instagram versus Facebook with her Instagram ads work really well because she's got such a great Instagram presence already. So, it really, I wouldn't rule anybody out. It's definitely worth a test to see how if you can find your audience on Instagram and then how well it converts. But I definitely still would test Facebook and Instagram together.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, see what the results are as opposed to what we think the results would be in our imagination. I mean, there's no money in our imagination, right?
That's true.
So, okay, so you're saying that, let's say a wedding photographer should be using Instagram for their ads. So what sort, and you said they could be talking about like wedding photography, like poses and how to do it in a stress-free way. So what sort of content are we talking about here? Like infographics or short video clips, or what's being posted for these ads?
Yeah, so we like to test static image ads. You can also do carousel ads, and video ads work really well as long as they need to be less than a minute in order to appear on the Instagram feed. But then also Instagram story ads, which are those, they can either be a static image ad and they appear for up to 15 seconds, or you can have a video, which is vertical, and then that caps out at 15 seconds. But now we have the ability to do carousel ads with Instagram stories. So what that means is that we can have up to 3 different videos or static images that will appear on the Instagram story platform for up to 15 seconds each.
And so when you say carousel, do you mean that, so it's like there's like a group, like 3 or so things to tap on, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're looking at, if you're a user and you're looking at Instagram stories, then you would see this story appear, just like it would, be from somebody that you follow on Instagram. It would come up in between your Instagram stories, and then you would see either that one static image or video. But if you're doing the carousel ad, then it would be 1 to 3 images or videos that would just play right after each other.
Super cool. So it seems like they're always adding new places to advertise. Like, I really liked when Facebook came out with the ability to advertise right there in the inbox for Messenger. I thought, what a cool idea. Like, everyone's done, advertising in the newsfeed, but who would have thought, oh yeah, when I'm going to message someone, like, why not have an ad right there in front of me? So there's all kinds of new things they're adding, and all things that we could be doing. And so it makes me wonder, like, is there any kind of like straightforward strategy? Like, do you recommend that a company or a brand like start posting and then get some initial followers, or just go right out of the gate with the ads, or like kind of what are the steps here? What's the process?
Right. So we have a little bit different approach. If we're working with a client that doesn't really have an established following online, then we need to get a little bit more creative with the targeting. If we do have a client that already has a great following on Facebook, they have a lot of great website traffic, and they have a great email list, and then the goal is to grow their audience and get more people to their website or to their products, to their sales funnels, then we will start with lookalike audiences of those different audiences. So we'll upload their email list and create a lookalike audience of those people. And Facebook is really great at matching that email list, and then also looking at the similarities amongst the people on the list to figure out, what are their common behaviors, what are their common interests, how are they interacting with ads, how are they, what pages are they looking at on Facebook, and then also off of Facebook, they have some data there as well with the Facebook pixel. And so with the lookalike audiences, we found great success when we have a good source audience to work with. So that means we have a good size email list, and it doesn't have to be huge. It can be, 1,000, 2,000 or more. But the more that information that we can give Facebook, then usually the better performing the lookalike audience is, just because it has more data to work with to find those similarities. But then it looks at its users on the platform, and it groups people into this lookalike audience as people who might also likely be interested in what you have to promote with your ad. So those are a really great place to start if you have an established audience already to work with.
Like you said, an established audience can be something as small as just 1,000 or 2,000 email opt-ins, right?
For sure. And also with website traffic, you can do the same thing. So as long as you have your Facebook pixel installed on your website, then that allows Facebook to communicate, or your website to communicate with Facebook, so that it can see who, amongst its users are visiting your website, what are their similarities, and then you can create a lookalike audience of those people as well.
Okay, cool. So I'm hearing all kinds of great things from you here. I'm hearing that people can and should upload their email list to Facebook and then generate what's called a lookalike audience. So similar demographic and interests as your existing customers. And then also that if we put this Facebook pixel on our website and let that run for a while, then when we go into our Facebook ads area, we can see what the interests are of people who are just visiting our website in general. They have a Facebook account, they visit the website, they might not even be on our list, but they go to our website, so we can tell what, if like most people like, Gary Vaynerchuk or Tony Robbins or something like that. And then what I'm also hearing from you, or I think I'm hearing it right, is that the Facebook and Instagram accounts are linked. So you can run your ads on Instagram based on that person's likes and information on their Facebook account. Is that correct?
That is absolutely true. And so that's one of the great things about, Instagram ads is that even if you don't have that large of Instagram following, it almost doesn't matter when it comes to ads because you can create those audiences, within Facebook and then use them with your Instagram ads as well.
Super cool. Double dipping.
Yes.
And then where does the live streaming on Instagram come in? Like, are you able to run ads to like a live recording you did, or are you limited to just you run an ad to build up your following and then do some live broadcasts?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question because on Facebook, if we do a Facebook Live, then we can pull that into an ad and get more eyeballs on our Facebook Live. However, with Instagram, we don't yet have that capability. We can do a boosted post on Instagram, but we don't have the same capability as we do with Facebook to pull in a video or something that's already on our page with all of the options in the ads manager yet. So that's unfortunate. I'm hoping that that's coming though, because that'll give us a lot more flexibility.
Someday, probably, right? The way that they're continuously improving.
I imagine.
It's only a matter of time.
Right. I imagine so because on Facebook, what's really cool is that now when you go to any Facebook page, you can go to the info and ads section, and then you can actually see their ads, or if they're running any ads, then they will appear right there on their page. So that's kind of interesting that you can go, and we use this for inspirational purposes. We'll have pages that we know are always, on the forefront of running really creative ads. And so we'll go and look at what their ads are. Or if you've got, a page in a similar niche that you kind of want to see what they're doing, what is their strategy, then you can take a peek at their ads. You don't see any performance data or engagement to determine, how well they're performing, but it is interesting to be able to see that. And Facebook is rolling that out on Instagram as well here coming very soon.
Super cool. I can't wait. And yeah, and that little tab that you mentioned that they added sort of quietly a few months ago, that is amazing. I mean, you can go to Tony Robbins' fan page and then on the sidebar, click on info and ads, and then just scroll through all the ads that he's currently running. And like you said, you can't tell what the targeting is on those. You can't tell if anything has likes or comments, but you can see, their graphics, their wordage, and maybe like scroll through and get some kind of ideas, or see, how many they're running, and then probably maybe even check back on a regular basis, right? And just kind of get a feel for like what ads that they keep on running, what have they dropped, what kind of new stuff. I mean, it seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And my team and I are always comparing. We'll send each other screenshots of ads that we see in our newsfeed that catches our eye. Either, it's a really creative with the language, or the image. Oftentimes it's the image is just really well done. And so it catches our eye. So we are always collecting that kind of inspiration so that we can, use that as a starting off point with our clients when we're brainstorming new ads.
And I think that concept right there of the building the swipe file, so to speak, or being aware of the ads on your radar and sharing it with your team. I mean, that's such a simple idea, but that's huge. And that's what me and my business partner do. And I'm glad that we're not alone in doing that. Like, I'll like on Facebook all kinds of different, competitors and other people's businesses. And a lot of people out there are like, oh, well, Facebook's showing me ads. And I'm like, I'm a marketer. I love seeing ads. It gives me ideas, especially
Exactly.
if it's not the usual things that I see. It's not my usual bubble. And so I can see what people are doing in different industries and like different things. Like, for example, I saw something once where someone was selling like some kind of like website platform, and they were targeting it as, well, if you wanted to make a course on this platform, here's this. Or if you are super duper geek and you want to get your website super customized, then they targeted it specifically for that crowd. And I thought that was really interesting. And so I'll kind of look at that ad and I'll see like, well, is it got like more than a couple of likes? And then I'll look at the why am I seeing this button? And then see like, why did they target me? Because sometimes I'm surprised. Sometimes it'll be like, oh, well, it's this public figure or this guru, and they kind of ran ads for like someone who was similar, who I never would have thought of. And then sometimes it reminds me of what sorts of targeting that is out there, because like sometimes we see when they target us based on like our city or our age or something we've liked. But I saw something the other day that was a local business targeted me because I was recently near it. So probably I had the Facebook app app open on my phone like a day or two ago, and then I happened to be in close proximity to that address, and then they got me on the list somehow. So it's always nice to do that strategy you're saying of just seeing what ads come at you and then just get some ideas that way, even if it's not even a competitor, right?
Right. I definitely agree. And that is something that I teach my students too, is to pay attention. When you're thinking about creating an ad and what's going to grab attention, pay attention, scroll through your own news feed and see what stands out at you, what grabs your attention, what makes you hesitate, what makes you pause for just a moment, and kind of start reading further, and then use that as your own inspiration when, coming up with an image idea or a video idea for your ad. I think it's a great idea.
Cool. Well, I feel like got nice marks on a pop quiz at school or something. Got all the right answers. And then so something that I saw maybe a month or two ago that really interested me was some of this like super targeting, where like as you can target someone in a certain range of a city, but then I didn't know until recently that you can target based on an exact address and then make a radius around there. So I saw some blog posts where somebody they like targeted an exact address, and then they did a 1 mile radius around that, and then they added all these 1 mile exclusion zones, sort of like in like a flower pattern right around it. So they were targeting not just within a mile radius of this one address, they were targeting like that exact address, like that exact city block. So have you seen anything sort of, I don't know, mind-blowing or kind of like a cool strategy similar to that? Anything like that recently?
Well, something that we've recently done for a client is our client has an affiliate connection where they want to drive traffic to a blog post that promotes the specific affiliate. And then they realize that they're only getting paid on conversions from certain zip codes. And there were like 4,000 zip codes that were, approved for payment, but anybody that fell out of, outside of any of those zip codes, they just were passing along those leads and not getting paid for. So we ended up uploading the zip codes into the ads manager so that we could target just those specific zip codes for this strategy to drive traffic to this affiliate.
Interesting. So, I mean, is that a common thing of just like you look at those ads and there's just like a lot of waste to trim down, or there are leaks, so to speak, where maybe the targeting is too broad and you just need to refine things like that?
For sure. Yeah, it's always worth paying attention to when you're creating your audience, to whether or not you should be excluding or narrowing your audiences in any way. So like if your goal is to grow your email list with your ad, then you probably want to exclude the people who are already on your email list. Or if you are promoting a paid product, then exclude the people who've already bought that paid product. If it makes, if it's a one-time purchase, it doesn't make sense for them to purchase it again. So make sure that you're, paying attention to those exclusions. And then also, as you were saying, narrow your audience as appropriate. And so this is something that we've been doing where we might upload, do the lookalike email list audience as a starting audience, but then we might narrow it down further into like we've got one of our clients has a higher price product. So we want to narrow it to people who are going to be able to make that investment into this higher price product. So then we started narrowing it down. We tested a bunch of different combinations, but what we found is that by narrowing that source audience or that custom audience of the lookalike down to only people also interested in high-end brands, that helped the conversions on the back end tremendously. So that's something to think about. You think about, what are the brands that your ideal customer or audience is into, and just make a list, start brainstorming, and then see how you can piece together those different audience ideas into creating an ideal customer audience in the Ads Manager.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's like when you're mentioning that, about how we need to remember to exclude people, you're making me think of there's maybe 2 or 3 Facebook pages that they keep on running ads to me. And I can tell if the ads are doing really well because they have hundreds of likes and tons of comments. But then the ad says something like, click like on our page to get blah, blah, blah. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, but I've already liked it. So I felt like maybe they should have been running a different ad to me now that I already liked it, because it's like, I want to see what else the page has going on, but I don't care enough to dig in and stop my scrolling through the newsfeed anyway. But it's just weird to see this ad saying, please like our page. And I'm like, I already liked it. And so an easy thing to correct. And then, so you mentioned about how we can, in this whole narrowing down of things, we can, take our, we can upload that email list, generate the lookalike audience, but then further exclude certain people. But you heard, we've all heard like a few months ago how there was this huge scandal with Facebook, right? This whole crackdown, and they seem to have removed a lot of that narrowing down of things. But I don't do ads often enough to know what was removed, and I feel like I used to be able to narrow down to like a specific income yearly salary sort of number, but then now it's like top 10%. So can you tell us what sorts of things changed when that Facebook slap happened?
Yeah, so they did take away a bunch of our detailed targeting options, including job titles, income, net worth. And so now they're kind of, as they put measures into place in order to make sure that they don't, go down those waters again, they've been bringing back some of those different options for us, but some of them in different ways. So we do have a lot of job titles back that we can find again. And then the household income, yes, we have household income options. So we have top 5% of zip codes in the US, and then we have top 10%, top 10 to 25, and top 25 to 50%. So that is something that we're also testing, for those clients that have the higher priced products. Then we're also testing narrowing so that with these different income amounts.
So is that part of it? Is that built into Facebook ads, or are you going out there and getting that zip code data yourself?
No, this is in the detailed targeting options, and it is only for the US. So if you are targeting another country, then we don't have this available right now. But for targeting the US, then we just search income in the detailed targeting section, and then you'll see these options appear.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I mean, with there's all this Facebook stuff. I mean, it changes so often, but at the same time, we also can't ignore Facebook ads because like it's everyone's there. It's such a huge resource. But what are your thoughts on staying up to date with all this stuff? Because it seems like if we are constantly buying courses on this, it seems like we'd have to buy a new course like every month on it. And then if we do like coaching or have someone run our ads for us, that's a whole other thing. So what is your advice as far as all these business owners out there wanting to stay current with Facebook ads, but also not wanting to spend 24 hours a day learning about all this new stuff?
Right. So yeah, there's a lot changing, and as you know, it changes constantly. And so my team and I are constantly in the ads manager. So we see these changes appear, and then we test them and we try them out. And so I do share what we find with the students in my course. And so I keep them updated with monthly group coaching calls, and then with our Facebook group, then we talk about the latest and changes that will occur, or we'll see a new screen, or the screen is different, or now we have new options. So we do talk about that there. So I think if you are wanting to stay up to date with this, then you can also follow my blog at monicalouie.com. And next year I'm going to be coming out with my own podcast. So that will be another way that I can help people stay up to date with this stuff.
Oh yeah, you'll never run out of content. You could have 3 episodes a day on all the Facebook changes.
Right.
And then you mentioned that you have this course. So what's it called? Where can we find it?
Sure. So the course is called Flourish with Facebook Ads. And so that can be found at flourishwithfbads.com. And it goes over everything that I teach and everything that I do with my clients, where we drive traffic to those monetized blog posts. So if you're a blogger and you have blog posts that are bringing you revenue, then you can just scale that up really nicely with Facebook ads by finding the using the detailed targeting and driving targeted traffic to those blog posts. And then also the next component of the course is to drive traffic to a sales funnel. So if you do either a webinar funnel or a video series funnel, or any type of funnel, really, an email funnel, then we can drive traffic to that funnel with high converting Facebook ads. And I show you exactly how to do that in the course as well.
Well, I like how you set that up because as you know, sometimes we'll buy a Facebook course and they'll be really vague because they don't want to have to update things, right? And they'll say, "Oh, just here's an ad, here's a test ad, send it to some website," and it's like, "Well, what website?" So I like how you're saying, if I'm hearing you right, to first run traffic to a blog post to get that retargeting audience built, to get people used to seeing you, to give you a handle on something easy. And then once you get that figured out, then you can move on to the sales funnel. But it sounds like it's not just here's some ideas. It's an actual like step-by-step strategy.
It absolutely is. It's a step-by-step strategy. And I take you through each of the steps to create a high converting campaign. And then also to your point about keeping it updated, we just went through a complete overhaul to make sure that every little detail was completely updated in the course. So we are always looking at that as new changes roll out. Then we're going back to the course to get it updated so that we can speak to those changes and present them and talk about them in the right way.
So what's the price point on that? And is that yearly or monthly to stay up to date on all the latest stuff?
Yeah, so it's a one-time investment of $399 for the course. And then with that, you get 30 days access to the group component, which includes the Facebook group and the group coaching calls. And in the group coaching calls, we also do hot seats. And then we also have, after that, then it's a monthly investment of $49 a month to stay in the group. But then we also have a VIP support option, which is $599. And that includes 1 year access. So it is quite a cost savings rather than the month-to-month option.
And either way with all that, I mean, that's no-brainer pricing. If you make one extra sale, if you get one extra coaching client, I mean, that's more than worth it to get that extra Facebook and Instagram juice.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, we always want to make sure that we are on top of everything. And we talk a lot in the Facebook group about, the changes. And then we also go over that and dive into hot seats in the group coaching calls, which is really helpful because when I was first starting out with Facebook ads, it would have been nice to have an extra pair of eyes on my audience ideas, on my ad ideas. Does this image look okay? Will this stand out? What do you think? And so we talk about that in those hot seats and the Facebook group. And then we also dive deeper too into, how can I improve my landing page? What different things can I do? Is this messaging clear? And so the group is really great about giving feedback, and I jump in daily as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's great because we all have those blind spots. We all have those ads or those web pages, and we don't even know that we're missing something, or we don't even know that we're adding something, but then someone else looks at our ads from the outside. Or, I mean, you and your team, you're playing around with Facebook ads all day. So of course you'll see all sorts of things that we don't see. And I love joining these courses that have a Facebook group component to them, because I mean, if we're being honest, we're all addicted to Facebook, right? We're all going to be on Facebook at least somewhat. So if we're going to be scrolling through and looking at, what someone from college did, or looking at some waste of time stuff, we might as well be scrolling through some of that helpful stuff in the community and seeing, what people are asking about with their ads. Maybe we ourselves could jump in, or maybe we post a problem with our ads and someone else can help. Or even what I really like about some of these courses that I'm in with Facebook groups is when someone has a really big success, that's super encouraging. Like if someone says, I did this campaign, or such and such launched it really well, and you see that they have like the screenshot, you're like, whoa, like I was only feeling like putting an hour of work in today, but now I feel like doing 4 hours because everyone else is doing really well. So it's like a rising tide lifts all boats situation. So yeah, I love courses with the Facebook group built in.
Yeah, and that's something that is really fun too. When our students share their wins and they keep us updated on their, return on investment with their Facebook ad. They'll say, "I spent this much and I made this much already," and then just we get those really great success stories. Like one of my students, she in 1 month she added 2,200 email subscribers to her list, and she added an upsell offer on the thank you page that ended up netting her, so her net lead cost was 8 cents per email subscriber. And then she told me later, so that was during that 1 month time, that she did get it so that it was actually profitable. So it was, she was getting paid money to actually grow her email list and grow her audience.
That's awesome. And then she can just recycle the money again and again, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's when it gets really fun.
Yeah. Cool. So if you're out there in podcast land or listening and you have had that bad experience with Facebook ads, or you've tried and failed, or we've all been seeing these ads, and I'm sure you're thinking, well, gee, wouldn't it be great if I could have that ad dialed in for my business, so that way I'd have that unlimited constant stream of traffic from Facebook and Instagram? Well, then you're going to wanting to go and check out flourishwithfbads.com to see what that course is all about and see what the community is all about, so that way you can get your Facebook ads up and running. And what's really great is that Monica and her team update that course all the time. So whenever you buy it, it'll be the recent, most up-to-date version with all the Facebook ad changes. And then over time, when there's those hot seats, the coaching calls, there's the Facebook group, you'll have that ongoing training. So it's not just one of those situations where maybe you bought a Facebook course in the past from someone else and then it was out of date and it got even more out of date. Now you can keep up with all these changes without being overwhelmed. So we mentioned that course, flourishwithfbads.com. We mentioned your main site, monicalouie.com. Is there anything you think we left out? Any other important links to mention here?
Yeah. So monicalouie.com/Robert, I put together a special page for you where people can get access to my free Facebook ad starter kit. If they just want to see, how do I get started with Facebook ads? What are the steps I need to take? Then this will walk you through it and provide you a checklist so that you can get your campaign up and running.
That is super valuable. So make sure you go to that location, monicalouie.com/Robert. That's MONICALOUIE.com/ROBERT and get that free Facebook ad starter kit. Because if you go in there and try to wing it and try to fumble around on your own, who knows how many weeks that's going to take. And by that time, Facebook will change things. So instead, go through that checklist. That way you know exactly what it is you need to do. There's a clear start and finish. And then you'll breeze through it a lot faster and with a lot less frustration because you know exactly what to do, exactly what to click. So you get it done faster, you have a lot more fun doing it, and then you'll want to run those profitable Facebook ads again and again. So as we're kind of wrapping things up here, Monica, do you have any last words of encouragement or anything to tell people about what they need to know about their Facebook ads?
Well, so my clients that have the most success are committed to actually learning and testing and implementing a strategy and figuring out what works. So with Facebook ads, it's never set it and forget it. Testing is a huge component and a great way to find out what works and lower your costs so that you can increase your conversions, increase your results. And then, of course, once you get to the point of profitability, then you can just scale it up and it gets really fun. So definitely, if you're going to jump into Facebook ads, then be committed to the process and realize that it's going to take some investment and it's going to take some testing. But when it works and you figure out what works, that's when it is amazing.
Cool. So we need to manage our expectations at first, but then know where we're going and break through the initial somewhat difficult part. But then once we get to we hit that critical mass, we can just run it again and again. So super encouraging. So the place to go is monicalouie.com/Robert to claim that checklist. And thanks, Monica, for stopping by and keeping us up to date on the cutting edge of Facebook ads. We'll have to have you back again in a few months since this changes so often.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, Robert.
Please take a second to rate and subscribe to Marketer of the Day in the iTunes Store. It's free. marketeroftheday.com/iTunes.